Alright, hello everybody, it's me, the Invisible Gunslinger, and this is going to be quite the serious video here. Just to let you know right off the bat, I'm alive, I can walk, there are no major injuries, I'm okay, I only have minor bumps and bruises and all of that, but I'm making this video because I was involved in I was involved with a major car accident, and it was some serious shit, man, I gotta tell you that. So, I'm gonna walk through kind of what happened. I'll tell you guys what I heard afterwards, kind of the full story that I got from the cops. It's still early times in this whole process. This happened literally about 24 hours ago. I went to the hospital, I got treated for my injuries and all of that, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So for those of you who maybe don't watch my channel very much or don't know, or maybe just missed a video where I talked about it, but I work as a wedding server, and I commute to my job. It's about an hour drive. It's usually pretty relaxing because I'm always going against traffic. So I have not had a single problem the whole time I've commuted over there. I've been doing it for about 1.5 years, almost 2 now. But I kind of thought something like this would happen. But anyway, so I was driving home. I had just got off of work. I get off pretty late. I got off this time at like 2:30 in the morning. I've been closing up with my boss and one of my other coworkers. We were all closing up shop, and we all typically drive the same way to get home. They live kind of closer than I do. I have to drive further than they do to a different town, but we were all driving on the freeway. And now this brings us to my graph here that I've made in Photoshop. I'm sorry if it's kind of lacking in quality. I'll try to give you a legend here. So basically this part right here, this gray part, is the center concrete divide between the two highways. I was on this highway. Let me just get rid of this. I was on this highway going this direction. I think it's north. I want to say north. Anyway, I was going north. My boss and my coworker were in these lanes, the further to the right lanes, you know, the slower lanes, and I had just crossed over to the fast lane. Now, I typically don't drive too fast, just because it's a little scary, I'll be honest. I'm not the best, I don't want to say the best driver, but I'm a safe driver. I drive defensively. People are always riding on my ass, but I don't care because I'm a defensive driver. I won't go until I'm 100% certain that I'm okay to go. You know, I don't drive like an idiot, but I don't drive like a grandma or anything either. So I like to think of myself as a pretty normal driver. But anyway, before I got to this area on the freeway, what had happened, the initial accident that happened, was a guy in a white Camaro or something like that was going this way down the freeway, and then I don't know if his tire blew up or if he was drunk. It was Memorial Day, like 2 in the morning Memorial Day, the day like it just turned Memorial Day, and I don't know what happened, but his car careened into the concrete divide, and he died. He died right then and there as soon as he hit the thing. I heard this later from the cops that he was already dead before I got here. So he crashed headfirst into this, and then he kind of spun, and his front of his car was facing this way, I believe, and so he's kind of hanging out in the fast lane, and then, so he's right here. He's right here, and then another guy, I'll change picture. Let's go with that. Okay, another guy came by, and he clipped that car, the guy who was already dead. He didn't get any injuries, this second guy, and he kind of pulled off to the side of the road and checked on, and this is why I wasn't charged with criminal, or I'm not under investigation or anything, but he went and came back and checked on the guy in the car, and he found out the white car was already dead, so he was gone. But now there's this car just hanging out in the middle of the road, and the other car's over here, the second car, the guy who got no injuries, and I'm coming along now. I'm coming along, getting off of work, and I pull over into this lane, and I'm driving along, and this is kind of a dark highway, and I was going about, I want to say about 70, 75, 80 at the most. I was kind of just starting to pick up speed. You know, I'm not a 100-mile-an-hour speed demon or anything like that, but I don't stick to like 60, 65, although I will from now on, Jesus Christ. But I got to about right here. Oh, actually, no, I'm sorry. The white car was hanging out a little bit more in the street. It wasn't quite tucked away like that. It was more like this. more like that, where most of the car was in the fast lane. And I barreled into it. I had no time to react. I was probably about this far away. I was probably about 15, 20 feet-ish before I even realized that there was something in front of me. And I slammed into it at least 70 miles an hour. And I bounced off. And I think, my memory's a little fuzzy here, but I just remember I was screaming in the car. I was like, oh my God, my airbag went out. The whole front of my car is destroyed. That car is scrap metal. And the cops told me that I also hit this guy, but from my recollection, I don't see how that's possible. But supposedly I hit the white car and then bounced off and then hit this other car. So maybe it happened differently from what I'm remembering it, but essentially my car skidded down the road, maybe about 300 feet. And I'll tell you one thing, guys, I got the fuck out of that car. The first thing I did is I wiggled my toes. I was like, okay, I can get up, I can walk, I can move. And then I tried to get out my driver's side door. It was busted. I couldn't open it, so I climbed over the passenger seat. So here, let me get rid of these. Okay, so now it's further down the highway. I came this way. I came to a stop here. My car's not that big. I had a little tiny red car. So I came to a stop here. I climbed out this way. I left my door open. I even left my cell phone in the passenger side because I was going to get away. There was fucking no way I was standing next to that car, because down here near the white car, I don't know if I had caused this, but there was a fire going on. I think maybe I had hit the white car and that caused some gas to come out, some more gasoline or something, and it caused a spark. And all I see down this direction is fire. So I'm like, oh shit, either that car is going to blow up or I'm going to blow up or something's going to happen. So I climbed out of my car and I immediately walked this way towards, there was this Latino guy in like a Mustang. He's like, are you okay? Are you okay? And I'm like, call the fucking cops, call the 911, please. And I'm hurting at this point. I don't know how serious my injuries are or anything like that. I just know that I just had a major car accident. I turn around, the whole front of my car looks like it had been kicked with a giant metal boot. It was like it had been sheared away. So I get to the Latino guy. The Latino guy goes back down towards the white car to see if anybody's alive. And he tells me just to sit down. I sit down right here against the concrete divide. I also want to get away from my car just in case, like, maybe some other people were going in the fast lane and they would have hit my car. I didn't know how much of a pileup this is going to be. You know what I mean? And in these lanes, there's like debris, glass and shit, and there are cars going by, and they're dragging metal, and it looked like a freaking war zone with the smoke and the fire coming from down here, and all the sparks and stuff over here. It was just fucking crazy. So I'm still resting here. Some older ladies came by. I think they were like volunteers or something that happened to be in the area. I don't know. Some lady had like a crossing guard uniform or some fucking thing on, and she had a fire extinguisher, so she went down and took care of that. At this point, my boss and my coworker, they didn't see the accident happen, but they stopped right around here in the slower. They didn't see it happen, but they saw my car fucked up, and they pulled over, and they're like, oh my God, Jared, are you okay? Are you okay? And I'm like, call 911. They're like, we already did. And then after that, I sat around for probably about 10 minutes, and the ambulance came by. They checked on the white car first, of course, because that car was fucked. Like, I heard this actually made the news, surprisingly. They didn't use my picture or anything, but it made the news, and the white car apparently was hanging, like the front half was only connected by the seatbelt. That was it. And by the way, of course, I was wearing my own seatbelt. I feel uncomfortable driving around without my seatbelt. And that probably legitimately saved my life, because if I had not been wearing my seatbelt, I would have been ejected from the car and probably been scraped along the road, and who knows what could have happened. My whole fucking front half could have been seared away, road rash, I don't even know. But I was taken to the hospital after the ambulance, took care of whatever was down there. They came back here, they checked up on me. My boss and the coworker, they scampered across the freeway once it was clear to do so, and they kind of stayed with me. And then I gave my boss my mom's phone number, because again, my car is still in my phone is still in my car, and I'm really pissed off that I left it there. And And he's like, okay, give me your mom's number, I'll call her. And then I went to the hospital, and I was treated. It was fine. I was actually really funny. Side note, the reason why I say it was funny is because when I got in the ambulance, they were asking me a lot of like, are you allergic to this or allergic to that? And I said, no, I'm just allergic to sulfa, I just get a rash. And they're like, okay, any other information that you think is prevalent? And I was like, well, I got an STI test like 2 months ago, and I'm perfectly clean, so don't worry about that. And they're like, oh my god, this guy. And then when I got to the hospital, I told one of the male orderlies, I'm like, hey, you want to see something real fucking weird? And he's like, wait, what, man? He was totally like, I don't want to say like one of those like surfer stoner dudes, but you could tell he used to be one of those, and now he's like an orderly or a nurse or whatever. And then I stuck my tongue out, and I have a geographical tongue. I've got a real fucking gross tongue. It's got a whole bunch of cracks, and it's huge. It's a nasty piece of work. I'm surprised I can even talk and commentate. But I showed him that, and I was like, I really should have said, like, I skidded out of my car, and like, I slid on my tongue, and now it's all fucked up. I sucked all the blood away. He's like, oh my god. So even in the midst of this big accident, I'm still kind of joking around and having fun, which I probably shouldn't, considering somebody died, but I didn't die, so I was feeling fucking great. I was very lucid. I remember the whole thing. I didn't black out at all. My arm was bleeding pretty bad, my left arm, and I didn't know how bad I was hurt, but I was just happy that I could get up, I could walk away. I knew I was in shock, but I walked away. My hip and my ass started hurting a lot, and I was like, shit, that's not a good sign. But I got in the ambulance. This was probably at about 2:50 in the morning, and they drove me after the police asked me some questions about, you know, just what happened on the scene. You know, did I have time to brake? What was the situation? You know what I mean? So after being questioned, they didn't give me any painkillers in the ambulance. They just took me straight to the hospital. It was about a 15-minute drive. I don't think they put the lights on or anything. I wasn't in life, you know, threatening condition. Got to the hospital, got treated. My arm needed some disinfecting. It's pretty fucked up. I mean, it's not that bad. I've seen bicycle injuries. You know, you've seen like the motocross guys. Their whole like front skin layer is seared away, and they're like, oh yeah, bro, whatever, bro. That's just, you know, thread life or whatever, thug life, thug thread, life. Yep, they all make that noise. I'm alive, damn it. I'm alive, and I will show you guys a picture of my car when it is released to me. You will be astounded that I walked away from this thing, because I should have died. I really, even with my seatbelt and the airbag, I should have died. It was a fucking disaster. And it as soon as I hit, like, it was like I was somebody else, and I felt somebody else's pain for a second, and I was like offended. I was like, what the fuck? I remember screaming out, what the fuck? What the fuck? And I was like, oh my god, what the like, I didn't know if it was my fault. I didn't know what I hit. Just all of a sudden, I'm like floating through the air. I didn't go upside down or anything, but I definitely got like bounced and went into the air for a while, and I was like, holy fucking shit. But then my boss and my coworker were amazing friends, and they stayed with me until my mom got to the hospital, and she picked me up, and I went home, and I've just been sitting at home these last like 23 hours thinking about shit, you know, and I've been recuperating, and it turns out my knee is a little swollen. It's not dislocated or anything. I haven't gotten a full medical examination. They didn't give me any x-rays or anything like that, but primarily the two big problems is my hip, like where the seatbelt gripped me right on my like lower abdomen. That hurts like a motherfucker. Like, I can't sneeze or cough without intense pain. Not like pass out pain or screaming pain, but like that, like, imagine the pain you get when you stub your toe on like a desk or something, where you just kind of hit your whole foot on the desk, but throughout your entire lower abdomen. And for like 5 seconds after, because I sneezed like an hour ago, and I was like, like it was bad. And then my ass hurts a lot, like right on like where my tailbone ends, like right in the ass crack. That is bad. And I looked at my pants afterwards, and like the seat of my pants blew out, so I have no idea how that happened. No idea. But what's kind of interesting and very symbolic of my luck is that I held onto my glasses. the right lens popped out, and the frame is a little, the frame on the right side near the nose guard, or the nose piece, or whatever, the part that sits on your nose, that's got a crack in it, like it's loose. But my left lens is perfectly fine. And I'll make another video and I'll show you guys pictures and stuff, but I just wanted to put this out so that you guys know that I'm okay, and this is like the information that happened. But I'm keeping these glasses forever because this is just a symbol of my dumb luck, where bad shit happens, but not nearly as bad as it could happen. You know what I mean? Like, it seems like bad stuff happens to me. I don't want to say a lot, because there's people out there with way shittier lives than me, but this was by far the worst thing I would say that's ever happened to me in my whole life, because it's just, I don't know how I'm gonna do a lot of stuff. I mean, well, don't worry about me. Like, I don't mind that much. I'm alive, for fuck's sake. But I am gonna have to deal with, like, car insurance. I do have insurance, so that'll cover the cost of the car. I'll probably get a newer car for like $1,000. I've got a $1,000 deductible, and my car insurance will cover the medical expenses of the ambulance ride and the time I spent in the hospital. So that's all good. And one of my coworkers actually even started up like a GoFundMe account, because I won't be able to work for I don't even know how long. The cops said that because there was a fatality involved in this accident, even though I didn't cause it, but because there was a fatality, my car and all the stuff in it is being held as evidence. And I was actually very surprised they didn't give me a breathalyzer exam at all in the ambulance. I mean, obviously I wasn't drinking or anything like that, but, you know, you figure Memorial Day night, you know, people are out there drinking all the time. I think I heard on the news, like, Tiger Woods got a DUI or something like that. So I was very surprised they did not give me a breathalyzer exam, especially since I was so, like, ecstatic that I was alive. I'm like, holy shit, I am alive. Thank God. I am just, whew. I walked away, and you guys will be just flabbergasted when you see this car. So I'm putting this video out just to let you know that that happened. I might ask for donations later on, or I might put out a PayPal thing. I don't know. I really don't want to, but certain things like my glasses are really expensive. I don't know. I'll have to see how the insurance thing goes and just what my costs are. It's going to be kind of hard, I'll be honest. But if this had to happen, this happened at the perfect time in my life right now. I mean, I'm not really old, so none of my bones or anything were... I was surprised none of my bones were broken. Not even my nose really hurts, even though I went face first into the fucking airbag. It's just kind of sore. That's the whole thing, is I walked away from... Like, when I fell off my bicycle... When I fell off my fucking bicycle, I, like, scraped my knee almost to the bone. I broke my thumb. You know, I had way more injuries when I just fell off my fucking bike going, like, not even 15 miles an hour. So I'm just astonished that I was able to walk away from this. And this has definitely given me a new appreciation of life, I would say. I mean, it's not like, I'm not going to become like a devout Christian or anything like that. Nothing quite that level, but I feel like now there's more things that I want to do in life that, I don't know, I otherwise would have missed if I had died. You know, there's a lot of games and movies and books and stuff that I've been putting off getting into, or, you know, that thing where, like, you really like a good game and you don't finish it because you hate to see it end. That's not me anymore. That's not me anymore. I want to see the end of things now. Like, I don't care how quickly I go through them. You know, people are all like, savor the moment, savor the moment. And I still will. Like, I'm reading, I'm actually getting into the Berserk manga, and I've been taking it really slow because I like to kind of like think on, oh, let's see, I'll read this first volume and then like think about it for like 2 weeks and then get the next one. And I mean, that's all well and good if it's an ongoing series and you have to wait, but I've got like 4 here that I ordered, not after the accident, but like before the accident. I had a little bit of spare change in my paycheck, and I was like, oh, you know what, I'll just kind of go ahead and buy a few of the Berserk things, whatever. And I was going to space those out over a couple months, but no, not anymore. No way. I am going to try to cram as much enjoyment and fulfillment, that's the other thing, fulfillment in my life as I possibly can. Whether or not that means I'll be recording more or whatever, I don't know at this point. Or if I'll just start playing games on my own again and then maybe if I want to record them for YouTube, I'll do that. But there's a lot of games that I've been saving specifically for like a first playthrough on YouTube, and I mean, I'll still probably do that for a few things, but I don't know at this point. I don't know. There's still a lot to do. You know, I'm not going to get my car out of evidence for at least a month, the cop said. So, and I don't think my car insurance will pay for my car to be replaced for at least that amount of time, you know, a month. But again, this happened right at the beginning of summer. I only have like one summer class that I actually need to go to. This didn't happen during finals or anything. It's quite the event that happened. And it's the most important one that's ever happened to me, by far. So I'm gonna try to be a little bit more relaxed and have more fun in life, because I'm not saying I'm living on borrowed time or anything, but I definitely feel like just I want to live a more accomplished life, you know, and if that means doing more things to improve myself both physically and mentally and whatever, financially, I don't know. I just feel like from this point on I need to better myself even more, because that was something that I should not have been able to get away from. You'll see what I mean. You think maybe I'm a little bit over dramatic right now, but my God, it was like a bomb was going off in my car. It was like in those war movies you see where like or like in Saving Private Ryan, where like a bomb goes off and it fades out and everything's kind of, you know, making the whirring sound, and they kind of come back to consciousness and shit's still going on around them. It was like that, but I was conscious the whole time. It was like a bomb went off 2 feet in front of me, and yet I survived. I don't know how. Fuck, I had just replaced my brakes and my tires and my battery within like last 2 months. Damn. But what's kind of also weird is I recently got my airbag replaced, because the manufacturer sent me a recall notice that my airbag, some other models of my car had airbags with shrapnel in them, and there was a big recall notice, and I had been putting it off for a little bit, and like, I don't know, less than even 3 weeks ago, I went and took it in, and my airbag was replaced. And I'll tell you this, if I hadn't got that replaced, I mean, maybe I would have been okay, but maybe my face would have been very scarred. Like, I am minimally injured, honestly. Like, everything will heal. I mean, my ass is sore, but it's not broken or anything. You know, my hip is fine. It's okay. I am okay somehow. I would say it takes more than this to kill me, but it probably wouldn't have taken much more. You know what I mean? So I'll make another update video, probably with pictures next time. I'll show you some pictures of the injuries, maybe. I don't know at this point. But I wanted to let you guys know what's going on. You know, I could have just kept this to myself and been like, oh yeah, you know, keep it to myself, private stuff like that. But no, this was a very serious thing, and I feel like people should know. Because I couldn't just go back to recording Lisa with the same chipper attitude, especially since I have to sit completely different now because my fucking ass hurts. Lordy. Ugh. Goodness. But don't worry too much, everybody. I'm okay. You know, I say maybe I'll open up a donation thing, but I probably won't. I mean, even if just my family and friends kick in a little bit here and there to help me with like my glasses getting fixed, maybe replace some of the things in my car that are probably broken. You know, I think my phone's probably, I hope my phone doesn't get stolen, and a couple other things, but I had like some audiobooks in there that I'll probably have to pay the library back. I don't know if they got broken. It'll depend. It'll depend. And I hate asking for donations and handouts and stuff like that. But if there was ever a time where I needed to do that, it'll probably be during this. I don't know. I've always been astonished by people's generosity, but I'm humbled by it, you know. So I don't know at this point. There's a lot to be figured out, and I'll be figuring that out over the next couple weeks probably. So that's what's going on in my life. That's what I'm doing. I hope you're all much better than that. Drive safe, everybody. Wear your seatbelts, because honestly, you just never know. You know, I was more confident driving down this highway than driving down any other place in the world because it's nice and open, and yeah, it's a little dark sometimes between streetlights, but I've driven down that highway at least, God, I don't even know, like 70 times more, probably like 150 at max. I don't know. I've driven down that a lot, and nothing close to this has ever happened. This is actually my first accident that I've ever had. I've never had anything else like this, so I don't know what I'm going to be getting myself into, but I wanted you all to know because you're all very important to me, and I'm okay. I'm alive, and I'm still the Invisible Gunslinger #1, and I always will be, no matter what. So everybody, until the next little update, I might record some Lisa. I don't know. I don't know at this point. I haven't recorded anything else. There's no footage floating around that I have stored away or anything like that. So we'll see. We'll see. But yeah. So I'll talk to y'all later. I got some shit to do. So until then, everybody, I've been that guy. You've been those guys. And let's keep it going.